Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be using this freshly made sketch number 355, and you can pause here to get measurements and then come join me at the table. And then if this is your first time joining me, if you wouldn't mind, please hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell next to it so that way you get alerts whenever I upload new content. So let's jump on in. So I've already have my papers pre-cut, and I have the sketch over here on the right hand side so you guys can follow along as we put it together. So for this pattern paper, I'm putting it up to the four corner on the paper just like it is on the sketch, but I'm adding a mat around this section, and then I'm also going to put that on top of our card base. Now normally, I want to say the last time I made this, I did the pattern paper to the white, and then I attached it to the card base, straight to the card base. Well, with this one, I didn't want to do that because I was putting it on top of white to put on top of a white card base, and it wouldn't give it enough distinction. So what I did was I took that measurement and just made it 1/8 of an inch bigger to create the mat. So the mat is actually, I want to say it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of score tape right along the back of the ribbon here. And then that way it'll securely stay down on this pattern on our main, I guess we would say the main card layout. Because once we attach that, the card itself is pretty much done. And I'm trying to be careful because, you know, score tape is not very friendly. It definitely is one of those things where once you lay it down, they'll be trying to move it because that's the end. There's no oopsie on score tape, okay? And the reason why I was able to pull that side up because I hadn't pressed it down. But I guarantee you, had I pressed that down, it would have been a wrap. So I'm just trimming close and then laying that on the other side. And I decided I wanted to use another one of the cut aparts, and I was trying to figure out where exactly did I want to put it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a knot, if I wanted to do like a little bow, and then have the sentiment on top of that. I was just trying to figure out like what the layout was going to be. So I decided, you know what, let me just finish putting this together, and that'll give me a little bit of time to think. And on where the ribbon is, I put score tape down to give it just a little bit extra adhesion, so that way it doesn't pull up. And then of course, once I get the tape, the backing off, I'm also going to put down a little bit of wet glue to give me a little bit of wiggle room. All right, here we go. And then I use art glitter glue, but you could use any glue that you guys have. If you use the, I forget what the Bear one is called. Simon Says Stamp has glue. I think even Nuvo or Tonic has a glue out. I mean, there are so many glues out. I think they all are pretty much the same. I just especially like to look for ones that dry clear. As a crafter, I think that's the best because if anything oozes out, you don't have to worry about it messing up your project. Okay, so now that we got this layered onto our card base, now I'm going to think about where I'm going to put this, the sentiment, and then where, if I'm going to do a bow or no bow. This is where I'm kind of like trying to figure things out. And I'm trying to find my cards real quick because I got them over here. Oh, okay, here's the other one. Okay, so I decided to do, I don't know if it would be called a makeshift bow, but I didn't have enough left over to get it even and the bow just right. So I decided, okay, I'm going to put the sentiment down there towards the bottom. So kind of where I'm laying it at the moment. And what I decided to do was a bow, but kind of like fold it in the middle. attach it with some glue, and then wrap a piece of the ribbon down the middle so it would create a nice flat bow. And then that way I could put it on top of the ribbon, because there was a little bit of it almost looked like a grease mark. I don't know where it came from, because I didn't use glue on the back of the ribbon itself, so it must have been on the ribbon and I didn't see it. So in a way to hide the little boo-boo, I'm using the bow that I'm creating here. And it's super tiny. There's going to be no tails on it, and you'll see, because on the one I did off camera, I wound up doing a more traditional bow where it would have the tails and all that. So we're going to work on this one, and then once I get it down, I'm going to trim and then take what's left to go around the center and put a little bit of score tape. All right. So I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I know there's one more sketch for next Friday, and I still have tons of paper left in this paper pad that I could probably, even after this 5th week, I could probably still make 1 or 2 cards if I really wanted to. I'm going to have to start thinking of a series to use up my 6x6 pads that I've been using, so that way I use up my stock and I can move on to the next one. Okay, so we got our bow put together. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm going to grab some glue dots. I don't know if you guys still have glue dots in your craft room. I found the roll probably like a week or so ago when I started actually filming these, and I was like, yeah, it works perfect for, especially when you're using ribbon, to put the bows on. It's a great way to stick it to your project. And I forgot I used to have a ton of them. Before AC Moore closed, we used to buy them like, you get 2 for $5 or something like that. Yeah, we would go crazy. All right, so I'm peeling the backing off of our foam, so that way this gives it a little bit of height. And it provides my sentiment. So on here it says, thinking of you, and the little girl is swinging on her tree swing with birds, and it's really pretty. So I was like, you know what? I could leave this here. I could add Nuvo drops. I could add sequins, but I have these little enamel, I guess they would be like enamels. I think Doodlebug calls them sprinkles. And I was like, you know what? Let's spread some of these around to give you, options. I'm trying to find the other one. Yeah, because on the one I did off camera, you'll see when I bring it into view, I didn't use the gems on it because the pattern paper is more busy than the one that you see me doing here. So the plaid, even though it's colorful, it's calmer than the pattern paper you'll see in it a little bit. So we're just doing a little area, sprinkles to the left, the upper right, and then I put a few on the actual sentiment. And there's our card. Very sweet and simple, and would make a great card to send to a friend. And then here's the other card I was telling you about. So you see the pattern paper. It's a little bit more busy, and I didn't want the little elements to get lost amongst that pattern paper, so I didn't put anything on there. Like I said, though, you could definitely use sequins or Nuvo drops if you wanted to add something to it. So thanks again, you guys, for joining me today. And like I said earlier, please hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this series. Hit the bell so that way you're notified whenever my videos go live. And leave comments down below if you guys have any questions. I'll be glad to answer them. And I look forward to seeing you with the next video. You guys have a great weekend.